Hello. Thank you for joining me on this short segment of Augustine's final whistle. Um, Today, I just looking at one specific issue. A few hours ago, we did watch the Copper Queens, Zambia's senior women national teams, eliminated from the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. A painful exit that was from Group C, despite a win over Malawi. They beat Malawi 2-1, goals coming from Barbara Banda and Priska Chilofia. You see, it's a sad moment for Zambian football, because this is a golden generation, one of the best women's team we've ever assembled, and having qualified to the 2023 FIFA World Cup, you expected that this team will proceed and qualify to the 2027 FIFA World Cup, but that elimination effectively means Zambia will not be one of the teams representing the African continent at the World Cup. Very, very unfortunate state of affairs. Very, very sad for Zambian football, because some of those girls we saw today will not be able to play for the national team in a couple of years. 3-4 years from now, they would have reached their prime and will be on their decline. But what was very sad and concerning, if not embarrassing, is the lack of understanding football rules. If you've seen my writings, if you are a keen follower of what I write about Zambian football, I speak to the rules. I speak to the FAS constitution most of the times. And there's a reason why some of these are critical for us to understand, because they translate into what happens on the pitch. And yesterday was a classic example. 2 days ago, I did write an article, explaining this scenario that, was before us, this evening, or last evening, if you like. I did give the permutation that should the three teams finish at 6 points, a tiebreaker in Article 71 of the women's regulations entails that, there will be three criteria through which it will be determined, the winner will be determined. I even specifically said the minimum, all that Zambia needed to do was get a 2-0 win. A 2-0 win that was within Zambia's control to qualify to the quarterfinals. And most likely, should they have qualified to the quarterfinals, they would have been in the semi-finals and proceeded to the World Cup in 2027. But when after the match was finished, you could tell that the players were not sufficiently briefed about the rules. Even when the game was underway, you could tell the body language of the players that they had not been briefed what they needed to do, a result they needed to get, irrespective of the result that Nigeria was going to post against Egypt. All that Zambia needed to get was a 2-0 win, a 2-0, clear win, a 3-1 win, or if you stretch it so much, a 4-3 win. Why? Because in this scenario, when three teams are tied, the head-to-head kind of rule only concerns the teams that are tied, meaning that the points that will be calculated will be among the teams. So in this case, the points for Nigeria, Nigeria, Malawi, and Zambia. So Nigeria beat Zambia, Malawi beat Nigeria, Zambia beat Malawi. Each team would have had 3 points, but because they were at par on 3 points, then the CAF rules would narrow down to the goal difference. So Nigeria scored 3 goals against Malawi. They conceded 1 goal. Nigeria scored 1 goal against Zambia. They conceded 3 goals against Malawi. So at that point, they were at 3-3, meaning the goal difference was 0. Zambia conceded 1 goal against Nigeria, meaning that they were at -1 before the match. By the time they were going into the match, if they had got a 2-0 win, Zambia would have been at +1 because of the single goal they conceded against Nigeria. Meaning that is how they would have qualified. But the rules were not properly explained. Even if the rules were not properly explained, you could tell the embarrassing scenario that was created even after the match. Some, respected, news outlet online, were indicating that Zambia had qualified. I saw the permanent secretary of sports. Now, it's at high level. PS Sports was, congratulating the team. Yes, they had won, but you can only congratulate them for qualifying to the quarterfinal. But however, you can also, wish them, all the best, or, console them for having not qualified. But you cannot congratulate them in such a scenario. My big brother, elder brother Elvis Nkando, the immediate past sports minister, also didn't know what was happening. This is important. And I can tell you that even some people in the Football Association of Zambia did not know what was happening. Even those that are in charge of competition. That's why these figureheads at FAS must be removed. Some of them do not deserve these positions because you need to understand the rules. You need to know why you're in a specific role. And these rules must be explained to the players. I was disappointed to hear, the coach before the match claiming, no, I'm not going to play for the calculator and stuff like that. I'm just going to score goals. But after the match, they assembled the players in the center circle, are waiting for the decision. No, the decision was already known immediately after the results. When we knew that Malawi had scored 1, had pulled back 1 through Tabitha Chawinga, it was evident we were already out. But the coach didn't know that we were out. How do you have such a technical team that doesn't seem to know the rules? You were just supposed to walk out of the pitch because we were effectively out after conceding that goal. That match was within us to control. That match was within us to own and win. Unfortunately, we didn't understand the rules. Our body language, failed us, and we couldn't get the win that we needed. And now we are out. So my appeal to many of the people in football is to take an interest to understand these rules, to read some of these rules, to appreciate why we have a constitution, because these matter on the pitch. And it showed us last night that rules do matter on the pitch. The constitution does matter on the pitch. The regulations are important to us on the pitch. We shouldn't look lost. We shouldn't be this embarrassed. It's unfortunate. But anyways, it was a sad day. We lost. Stellar performance from Hazel Nali. Big up to her. She came full force. She did exceptionally well against Nigeria. She did exceptionally well against Malawi. Unfortunately, we didn't get the result to pull us all the way. There's Olympics coming up. There's also different other tournaments coming up, and we hope the team can recover from this. But it's a painful exit, and most unfortunate. We wish all the teams that are remaining in the competition all the best. And tough luck. We'll discuss about the match. We'll discuss about other things a little later. But I thought I should stop by and discuss the importance of these rules and why they matter even on the pitch. We should never be embarrassed as we were. Tough luck, Copper Queens. I hope you pull your socks, go back to your clubs and recover from this embarrassing defeat. Thank you very much, and wishing you all the very best. Continue watching Augustine's Final Whistle right here. Subscribe, follow me on my Facebook page. Thank you very much. Great day.